President Fidel Ramos, Sir, salamat po sa tulong mo making me President. President Joseph Ejercito Estrada, Senate President Franklin Drilon, and the members of the Senate, Speaker Feliciano Belmonte, and the members of the House of Representatives, Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court, His Excellency Giuseppe Pinto, and the members of the Diplomatic Corps, incoming members of the Cabinet, fellow workers in government, my fellow countrymen. No leader, however strong, can succeed at anything of national importance or significance unless he has the support and cooperation of the people he is tasked to lead and sworn to serve. It is the people from whom democratic governments draw strength, and this administration is no exception. That is why we have to listen to the murmurings of the people, fear their pulse, supply their needs, and fortify their faith and trust in us whom they elected to public office. There are many amongst us who advance the assessment that the problems that bedevil our country today, which need to be addressed with urgency, are corruption, both in the high and low echelons of government, criminality in the streets, and the rampant sale of illegal drugs in all strata of Philippine society, and the breakdown of law and order, true but not absolutely so. For I say these ills are mere symptoms of a virulent social disease that creeps and cuts into the moral fiber of Philippine society. I sense a problem deeper and more serious than any of those mentioned or all of them put together. But of course, it is not to say that we will ignore them, because they have to be stopped by all means that the law allows. Erosion of faith and trust in government, that is the real problem that confronts us. Resulting therefrom, I see the erosion of the people's trust in our country's leaders, the erosion of faith in our judicial system, the erosion of confidence in the capacity of our public servants to make the people's lives better, safer, and healthier. Indeed, ours is a problem that dampens the human spirit, but all is not lost. I know that there are those who do not approve of my methods of fighting criminality, the sale and use of illegal drugs and corruption. They say that my methods are unorthodox and verge on the illegal. In response, let me say this. I have seen how corruption bled the government of funds which were allocated for the use in uplifting the poor from the mire that they are in. I have seen how illegal drugs destroy individuals and ruin family relationships. I have seen how criminality, by means all foul, snatched from the innocent and the unsuspecting the years and years of accumulated savings, years of toil, and then suddenly they are back to where they started. look at this from that perspective and tell me that I am wrong. In this fight, I ask Congress and the Commission of Human Rights and all others who are similarly situated to allow us a level of governance that is consistent to our mandate. The fight will be relentless and it will be sustained. As a lawyer and a former prosecutor, I know the limits of the power and authority of the President. I know what is legal and what is not. My adherence to due process and the rule of law is uncompromising. You mind your work, and I will mind mine. Malasakit, tunay na pagbabago, tinud-anay ang kausaban. These are the words which catapulted me to the presidency. The slogans were conceptualized not for the sole purpose of securing the votes of the electorate. Tinud-anay ang kabaguhan, mao kani ang tumong sa atong gobyerno. Far from that, these were battle cries articulated by me in behalf of a people hungry for genuine and meaningful change. But that change, if it is to be permanent and significant, must start with us and in us. To borrow the language of F. Shunet Jose, we have become our own worst enemies, and we must have the courage and the will to change ourselves. Love of country, subordination of personal interests to the common good, concern and care for the helpless and the impoverished. These are among the lost and faded values that we seek to recover and revitalize as we commence our journey towards a better Philippines. The ride will be rough, but come and join me just the same. Together, shoulder to shoulder, let us take the first wobbly steps in this quest. There are two quotations from revered figures that shall serve as the foundation upon which this administration shall be built. The test of government is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide for those who have little, says Roosevelt. And from Lincoln, I draw this inspiration. You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot help the poor by discouraging the rich. You cannot help the wage earner by pulling down the wage payer. You cannot further brotherhood by inciting class hatred among men. My economic and financial political policies are contained in those quotations, though couched in general terms. Read between the lines. I need not go to specifics now. They shall be supplied to you in due time. However, there are certain policies and specifics of which cannot help wait for tomorrow to be announced. Therefore, I direct all department secretaries and the heads of agencies to reduce requirements and the processing time of all applications from the submission to release. I order all department secretaries and heads of agencies to remove redundant requirements, and compliance with one department or agency shall be accepted as sufficient for all. I order all department secretaries and heads of agencies to refrain from changing and bending the rules of government contracts, transactions, and projects already approved and awaiting implementation. Changing the rules when the game is ongoing is wrong. I abhor secrecy and instead advocate transparency in all government contracts, projects, and business transactions, from submission of proposals to negotiation to perfection and finally to consummation. Do them, and we will work together. Do not do them, we will part sooner than later. On the international front and community of nations, let me reiterate that the Republic of the Philippines will honor treaties and international obligations. On the domestic front, my administration is committed to implement all signed peace agreements in step with constitutional and legal reforms. I am elated by the expression of unity among our Moro brothers and leaders and the response of everyone else to my call for peace. I look forward to the participation of all other stakeholders, particularly our indigenous peoples, to ensure inclusivity in the peace process. Let me remind, in the end of this talk, that I was elected to the presidency to serve the entire country. I was not elected to serve the interest of any person or any group or any one class. I serve everyone and not only one. And that is why I have adopted as an article of faith the following lines written by someone whose name I could no longer recall. He said, I have no friends to serve. I have no enemies to harm. Presenting, therefore, I now ask everyone, and I mean everyone, to join me as we embark on this crusade for a better and brighter tomorrow. But before I end, let me express the nations, in behalf of the people, our condolences to the Republic of Turkey for what has happened in the place. We offer our deepest condolences. Why am I here? Hindi kasali ito dyan. The past tense was, I am here because I love my country and I love the people of the Philippines. I am here, why? Because I am ready to start my work for the nation. Thank you and good afternoon.
At this juncture, may we kindly request the Cabinet Secretaries designate to please rise for the administration of the oaths of office. This includes other appointive officials.
To the honorable members of the cabinet, this is your pledge of oath. I state your name, having been appointed to the position of, solemnly swear that I will well and faithfully discharge, to the best of my ability, the duties of my present position and all others that I may hereafter hold under the Republic of the Philippines. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees promulgated by the duly constituted authorities of the Republic of the Philippines. And that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. No need to stand up, actually. I'd like to begin para baka kalimutan. Kay Artman siguro tutugadi. There's a practice actually, which I just knew, that kung ako, the presidential takeoff or landing, may 30 minutes hiatus. So nobody takes off or land if the presidential plane is, wala namang presidential plane na. But I want this stop. We should not be treated different from the other suffering Filipino passengers. Makita na ito crowded. At dagdagan mo ng mga ganong 30-30, like before it's even an hour, before you can use the skies. Mahirap mayong ganon. It's not good. Siguro si Art would just advise the CAAP na any one of us, kung bigyan tayo ng priority to take off, salamat tayo, but we should also follow everyone's travel, pila tayo. Kasi yung ganon, for example, if I plan to fly at 5 o'clock, tapos yung mga aeroplano sa airports na walang night capability, and they would run out of daylight while waiting for the 30 minutes for the president to mamakansilar yung flight nila. So, and it is every other airport ma-delay. And that would, pagkatapos niyan, another crowded skies. Ako naman, not because of anything, pero ayaw ko magpa-importante na gano'n. We should treat ourselves just like any other Filipino traveling. Wala man tayong aeroplano, but I plan to take the ordinary commercial flights. But not now because everybody is offering for the use of their airplanes. Kala siguro nila, bibili ako. Kasi sabi ko yung lahat ng planes, I'm turning it over to the military. Pati yung mga assets ng yung Pangulo. Gawin na natin ospital yan or put it to good use rather than allow it to rust to death. Ayun lang. Ang second is I forgot. Mayroon ako kasing sabihin sa... Anyway, ano ba ang... I'd like Bong to... What are the urgent matters to be taken up? May agenda ka ba?
about the disaster preparedness.
Si Halad. You know, before you begin to talk, alam mo sir, ganito yan General. Kasi I was born in Leyte. So day 2, sinabi ko kay Bong, because the communications were cut, sabi ko kay Bong, gamitin mo ang army. Mayroon talaga yan silang a way of communicating. Pasa-pasa lang relay. But nung nalaman ko na there were about, nung nag-usap kami ng sundalo, sabi ko, kumusta? Andyan, sabi niya, sir, bagsak yung Leyte. Tapos sinabi ko, anong klaseng bagsak? Sabi niya, sir, tumba lahat. Hindi ko naintindihan, sabi ko, tumba ang lahat bahay. Sir, pati kahoy. Ilan ang patay? Sabi niya, sir, mukhang mga aabot ito ng 10,000 estimate namin. Hindi ako makapaniwala. So that evening, I mobilized the 911 of Davao City. Nag-assemble ako ng 10 doctors and nurses. And pinuno ko ng antibiotics, tetanus, all of the things that would be needed really of a victim in a calamity. They traveled, so nag-helicopter ako. But at yung sa Tacloban Bay, wala akong nakita isang rubber boat ng Navy. So, sabi ko sana, by this time mayroon na yan. At least the fast craft, mga frigate ng, if there is one, andyan na yung tanker. Alam mo bakit? What really surprised me? Bewildered me. Kasi nung pagbaba ko, hawak-hawak kong yung plastic na bottle. Yung sinalubong ako ng sundalo, sabi niya, Mayor, may tubig pa kayo. Alam ko na problema na. Kasi ano niyan, pagkain pati tubig. Yung pagkain na hindi na nga niluluto. Yung diretso na from the can, masardinas ka o carne norte ka. And to think that about Ormoc was just a few kilometers. Hindi naman few, but almost like 80. And Maasin was doing all right. Bakit walang tulong dito? And after 2 days, nagpalit ako ng personnel. Sabi ko, they can only endure it 2 days. Ang baho eh. Pati walang tubig. So I was expecting that there was, I'm not trying to condemn anybody. But nung tumawag ako there was a changing of personnel sa 911 sa Davao City. Nagpadala ako ng mabago para pauwiin yung initial batch. Sabi ko, may tanker na ba dyan? Sabi, wala. Bakit saan yung mga tanker na Cebu? Marami kang makuha. Well, anyway, I'm not condemning anybody. But sa General Halad lang, sir, you might want to take that into factor when you. Kasi dapat nakaposition yan sa nearest. Not really so near to be hit also, but by the typhoon or cyclone, if you may. Yun ang niya. So, the resources must be on deck, positioned nearby. If you can draw the path of the typhoon and deploy the assets of government. Basta dyan, tubig na malinis, pati pagkain na walang cooking dyan. It's yung magpadala ka ng sakong bigas ganon on the first 1 week, it's useless. Ayan yan, si June, no? Yung earthquake niya sa Ball, wala talagang kwenta. Wala silang lutuan, walang firewood, wala lahat. Puro talagang pag-instant yan. Noodles, well, it is not nutritious really, it's a pure carbohydrates, but wala mga protein yan. But still, it can fill the stomach for the day. Yun ang ano ko lang, sir. We have a disaster maybe coming our way. Hopefully not, but this planet is being, I don't know, punished by God. So every now and then, but everywhere, climate change is here. We were warned so many years ago, about 7, that ngayon, dumating na talaga. Even the United States is suffering heat wave on the western side, and on the east, dito sa I can understand why the foreign secretary came home to escape the rigors of. So I'm through. Ano sir, salamat.